Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video in Raid Shadow Legends. We'll be looking at the new Halloween fusion that just came out, and it's for this champion that appeared to have been teased quite a while ago, and what was teased was actually correct. We're getting this new legendary champion named Harvest Jack as a fusion champion for a legendary fusion champion, and you need these 4 epic champions, which for the first time, I believe, since we've been getting these more recent champions for fusion, none of these champions are actually new. If you were lucky enough, you could have actually had all of these champions ready to go before this fusion popped up, and you could if you were lucky enough, I guess, actually fuse them right away. I do have Haikatoon. Everyone should have a Haikatoon, whether or not you leveled her up past the 5-star 50 that you need her to be for the fusion is up to everyone's own individual situations, I guess. I actually have 2 that are 4-star still, and so I can keep one and take one for this fusion. But this Swai Firstborn we'll be getting from a champion chase tournament and a champion training event that will be coming up in the future. I think her name is Mauve. Is available from Stitched Beast, Eris, Beast Wrestler, and Madman. Champion training tournament for Stitched Beast. Eris is a campaign champion. Beast Wrestler is a drop from Spider's Den if you do not have him already, and Madman is from a Dungeon Divers event that is currently going on. As you can see here, we'll have a champion that is from, from campaign. There's a rare champion from campaign for each one of these 3 epics, and a rare champion from dungeons for a limited event, or I guess a limited time drop for each one of these as well. And that's where it gets that's where the hard part comes in, because these RNG drops from dungeons are always just so the chance to get them is so small. So far I've been participating in this Dungeon Divers event by going all out on the Spider Dungeon, trying to get this Beast Wrestler because he's one of the few champions that I still need in order to make this fusion possible. And I've done 150 spider runs, 50 spider runs in stage 13 and 100 spider runs in stage 14, and I have yet to get a single Beast Wrestler drop. That's not to say that it's not possible to get it earlier, obviously, and some people will. Some people will take much longer than what I already have. There's someone on Reddit that has used, I don't remember how much energy, but quite a bit more than I have, and he's seeing some similar results on higher level spider dungeons. So that's really where the difficulty in this fusion is coming from, in my mind, is the RNG chance for a bare minimum, well, really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rare champions if you don't have any of them. I only need 2 of them, but it's costing me many thousands of energy just to get one. So we'll have to see if I can even do it based on that. If you do not have a Haikatoon that you can use for the fusion, because if she is already 6-star, then you're out of luck. Or if you don't want to use the one you have for the fusion, then you'll need these 4 champions that you can get from events or farming. Armatine Skeleton will be in an arena assault event coming soon. Muckstalker you can get from Godfrey's Crossing, a campaign stage. Ghoulish Ranger you can get from Dragon's Lair, and Mother Superior you can get from the Dungeon Diver event that's currently going on. And last but not least, Lady Etessa, you can get Steadfast Marshal from the Champion Training Tournament that will be coming soon. Templar from a campaign stage named Vladimir Strait. Runic Warder you can get from Fire Knight's Castle, which is the other champion that I need to farm for. And Adjudicator you can get from a champion training event that will be coming soon. Now, we can quickly go and look at the champion himself. He's a legendary HP champion, Spirit Affinity. And all of his damage is based on HP, which is kind of nice considering his HP is so high, but I'm not entirely aware of how his damage actually scales on these attacks, but it'll be nice to be able to build someone other than attack and defense. You can build them solely for attack or HP, and his attack will go up. But his first attack attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 25% chance of stealing 1 random buff from the target. Each hit also has a 25% chance of placing a fear debuff for the 1 turn if the target has no active buffs. This chance increases to 100% if all the buffs were stolen from the target. So if you do happen to steal a buff or all the buffs that the target currently has, the fear chance goes to 100%, and that's his A1. His A2 and A3 are both AoE attacks. Attacks all enemies, places a block buffs debuff for 2 turns on the target under fear debuffs. So if his A1 hits. It removes any increased attack buff that the target has and replaces them with 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. So this only happens if they have an increased attack buff, either the 25 or 50% version. Removes any continuous heal buff from the target and replaces them with a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. Once again, they need to have this buff in order to actually apply the debuff. The number of poison debuffs is equal to the number of continuous heal buffs removed. So this could be very powerful, but also could be only very situational. If you never run up against someone with an increased attack or continuous heal buff, then you're not really putting a lot of debuffs on. But the block buffs debuff is also very powerful if you're attacking someone with fear debuffs on. Last active ability, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing the True Fear debuff for 1 turn, and also places a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns and decreases each target's turn meter by 15% if the True Fear debuff is placed. So decreasing the speed and turn meter is very powerful. And of course, placing True Fear debuff. And this has a 75% chance of placing the sleep debuff for 1 turn if the True Fear debuff is not placed. So that's also a nice little bonus. And his passive, when he's attacked, he decreases the duration of all the buffs from the attacker by 1 turn. So that's really nice in getting buffs taken off of the attackers, like unkillable or obviously increase attack, stuff like that. He can be really powerful. So sorry this is here, but we can look at the current stuff that's going on right now. This Champion Chase tournament, in case you didn't notice, has nothing to do with the fusion event that's going on right now. So I would not even bother with this, even if you were to want to poll during the tournament. Save it for the Champion Chase tournament that will be going on during the fusion event. This has nothing to do with it. So save your shards and wait until, let's see, when was the Champion Chase tournament? The 31st is when we'll be getting a new summoning tournament. There is no summoning events, but summoning tournament for the fusion. And the other event that's going on right now is the Dungeon Divers event. Like I mentioned before, I'm using this time to try to get the dungeon champions dropped for me, the ones that I still need. And it ends in 4 days and 3 hours. By then, we'll already have a champion training event or tournament going on. So if you can get these drops and get this tournament or event over with before then, it just gives you more time for the other event and tournament that we have. But Madman and Mother Superior are in this event if you do need them. If you don't, it's kind of really only here for some energy, and you can get a legendary skill tome, but honestly, the points required, it's a pretty big investment. I'm only, at 14,000 points, not even halfway there yet, and it's really only been 2 days, but it's a big investment, especially if you have to go through the whole event, and it's taking up time from other events. And quickly we'll just look at the fusion. We'll see here that I need this champion here, I need these 2 champions, and I have Haikatoon. Obviously she will come from the champion chase tournament, but probably not going to be a feasible amount for free to play or someone who's not buying shards. And most likely anyone trying to get her will be going for the champion training event, and my guess is it'll be a 20k event. If it's higher than that, I imagine there'll be a big uproar, but let's hope that it's not. I mean, if anything, if the past has anything to indicate what this will be, she should be 20k, or roughly, I think the last champion that we needed in this kind of slot was 20,500. Really not that big of a difference, but we'll see when the champion training event comes around, and that's kind of what everybody's basing off this fusion off of, is what her requirement will be. But other than that, these champions have been in the game. You could have been lucky enough to pull all of them, and I've seen some people who already do have all the champions, so it's really up to you whether or not you want to try to go for this. Do remember that you need all the potions for Ascension. If you already have a Haikatoon, you don't need to worry about the potions for these champions for the Ascension, and that goes for everybody obviously, but most people will probably already have the Haikatoon unless you're new. And if you are new, then you really shouldn't be going for this fusion in the first place, because you will be needing to do a lot of campaign farming for that champion training event. Alright, well, that'll end it for this video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.